Okay, September 23rd, 2008. I'm glad I had a day off, so I spent probably 2 or 3 hours watching the testimony of Bernanke and Paulson before Congress. And to sum it up, the congressional leaders here in the United States basically are airheads as far as the financial markets. It was laughable, at the same time despicable, to watch these congressmen, these senators, ask questions and to ask for lessons in short selling 101 and things like that. They had 8 minutes each, and it just shows how absolutely pathetic the leaders of our country are. I just was watching Paulson and Bernanke, and they were doing their best to field these questions that were, they weren't childish and infantile, because a child would be more innocent. It was pathetic to think that these things are happening in our country, and the congressmen have no clue what's going on, asking stupid questions, and are ready basically to write a blank check to a couple men and other people behind the scenes. So luckily I had a really great workout with Chip tonight. I needed a great workout. But it's absolutely a complete and utter total waste of time to think that voting for Obama or McCain will make any difference whatsoever. I mean, you can watch it for entertainment, but they know less than the congressmen about what's happening. I mean, for somebody to put the Republicans back in office, you'd have to be brain dead and completely ignorant of, maybe if you haven't read anything, but put the Republicans back in office is complete insanity. And the Democrats, you might think that's an alternative, lesser of two evils, but Roosevelt, as I've said before in other videos, has set up some of these things. So that's an unmitigated disaster also. So, of course, Ron Paul represented the Constitution. Ron Paul represented sanity. Ron Paul predicted this stuff. Because, frankly, and a lot of you out there that aren't brainwashed and totally enveloped in this whole what's politically correct, probably saw it coming too, or felt it coming. I talk to people that feel it coming. So don't waste any time worried about who's going to win the election. It's just a complete waste of time. And behind the scenes, they won't let Ron Paul win the election. That would be a miracle, but that's not in the cards. And I'd also like to just once again point out that prophecy is completely scientific. It's a science. Seeing the future, predicting the future is a science. It's just like, from experience, you might know that eating, let's say, a potato, even though it's buried in the ground, is good, whereas eating something else that might poison you, poisonous mushroom, could kill you. So what I'm trying to communicate is that if experience, judgment, studying history, because history does repeat itself, we have a whole different set of circumstances here, but if you've studied history, then the future is really not that hard to see. And I watch these people, nobody knew this was going to happen. Well, no, there's thousands of people, and probably millions that had some uneasy feelings, but all this debt bubble, and they keep talking about the taxpayer and debt, and they can't borrow money. Well, some of my subscribers, what about the Amish? What about the Mennonites? Are they surviving? Are they even prospering without debt? Of course. So this debt-based society is going to collapse. That's 100% for sure. So what do you do now, people? What should I invest in gold, this and that? Well, prepare for a society where you don't go borrow money to buy a car or put food on credit cards. Just think about a society without depending on a bunch of burnt-out people back east. Okay? Because that's going to happen. That's a society that's coming. And so as long as I can give updates and the internet's up and running, I will talk about the transition from this debt-based society, which is collapsing, of course. In fact, it's already collapsed. This whole intervention and intervening in a free market is to kind of sustain and keep it going. But a lot of people aren't fooled, as witnessed by the dollar getting weak and a bunch of other things. Pretty soon, those things won't really be relevant. Your local community will be relevant. Do you have water, food, people you can trust? The civil unrest is going to be amazing, and that is coming for sure. So back to a lot of stuff going on. New York Times, okay, seen that. Administration is seeking $700 billion for Wall Street bailout, could set record. Well, of course, and it still hasn't happened. A local newspaper here, the Salt Lake Tribune, bailout without precedent. No kidding. Money, USA Today, the U.S. bends the rules of free markets. U.S. destroys the rules of free markets. This has the founding fathers would. They're not even. They're just waiting for the collapse too. I mean, they're watching from heaven or their graves or wherever they are, and they're just watching collapse because we've completely rejected the principles of founding fathers. We had a chance with Ron Paul. There was hope with Ron Paul. Here in Utah, 85% of people or so didn't vote for Ron Paul. They voted for Republicans that basically don't support the Constitution, whatever. And even Senator Bennett, I've kind of liked Senator Bennett, but some of the questions he asked today, I thought, oh gosh, Senator Bennett, as far as, pricing the assets, yeah, it can be pretty sophisticated, but the questions, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you guys, what values an asset is a free market. And so the assets aren't being valued. This thing is being postponed for maybe just a few weeks. But obviously the crap is hitting the fan, and to think Obama or McCain can fix this is utter and total and complete insanity. So don't even think USA is fixing the economy. These guys can't fix the economy. These guys are part of the problem and the status quo, and that's it. So it's not going to be fixed back in Washington. This economy is going to collapse. We'll talk about the specifics of it. Sometimes it'd be fun on Wall Street and say, hey, short the 30-year bond. Obviously, that was a huge profitable gain the last week or so. But thanks for those that are listening now. People think this is unbelievable. Nobody saw this coming. Well, it's just watch my video a year ago. I said it's coming, and so there's a lot of other people out there. But I'm in the unique position of, I guess, having had the education like the people on Wall Street, but rejecting Wall Street because I saw this coming like 20 years ago. And frankly, family and friends, especially close family on the other side of my ex-wife, they think you're insane. And now, it's like, okay, I'm not worried about being vindicated, but yeah, it's it's just time to prepare for an economy that's not based on Washington's irrelevant. Okay, New York's becoming irrelevant, and it'll be completely and utterly irrelevant just in a couple more years. That's where we're headed. Wall Street Journal: U.S. bailout plans calms market, but struggle looms over details. I heard somebody yell right at the end of the congressional hearing that we've left the Fox covering the hen house, watching the hen house. Pretty funny. Stocks buy into the rescue plan. Yeah, sure. And then this, where to put your money. Okay, everybody on YouTube, I get a lot of this. Where do you put your money? Hey, if you got gold and silver, great. Food first, other essential items. Prepare for when the stores close, or when you say, okay, let's see, do I want that mark right there on my wrist? I really want that right there. It's going to be decision time on that. The Bible, that's what's great. We got a forewarning on that, and so the Great Spirit has forewarned us on some things. So, as far as Barron's, where to put your money, don't worry so much about money. Obviously, think about food storage, but even those things will be difficult to hold on to. Worry about your soul, your spirit. Worry about relationships. That's what we carry into the next life. I've met a lot of people on YouTube. I've met some other people recently that are just absolutely phenomenal. So have faith in yourself. Believe in yourself. And if you have to stand alone in the truth, stand alone. But you know what? We don't have to stand alone. There's other people that see it. And you don't have to argue with them. They're just right there with you. All of a sudden, we'll keep encountering each other. And there's some really cool people out there. Recently, I've met some absolutely phenomenal people. Thanks, everybody, for watching these YouTube channels. Thanks for all the comments. I'm sorry I don't respond to everybody. I try it here and there. I'll see like 30 new subscriptions, and I'll click on one or two and send off a message. But I want to thank every single person for subscribing and adding to the comments. People from the UK, Australia, India, New Zealand. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. May the Great Spirit bless you. Take care. Rock on. Ciao.